Hello everyone and welcome along to the final pre-season round 3 of the Adrenaline GT3 Championship. As always, I'm your host Isaac, and this week I'm joined by Chris. Say good day, Chris.
G'day Isaac, thanks for having me, mate. Keen to see this one play out. Sardegna A is a great layout to have Group 3 races, so we'll see how it all pans out, and the field seems very tight, so hopefully everyone hangs up in there and have a clean one as we finalise our last pre-season race for the first season. Yeah,
100%. It was really close in quali, so let's jump into those results now. Only 0.48 of a second between the top two, so we've got Justin L lining up on pole, Slippy lining up in second place. Newcomer this week, Jay Walbutton in third in the 911 RSR actually. And then K-Dot coming out of fourth. Another newcomer, Jay Green, in the M6 GT3 BMW Sprint model, coming out of fifth. Pup in sixth. BBL Sin Killer in seventh. BBL Flash in eighth. Coming out of ninth, we got Smashing Apex. You got to be joking, out of 10th. L Sandwith in 11th. Street Silent in 12th. Wrestler in 13th. And Axaga rounding up the grid. Only just over a second between all 14 runners in this lobby, so it's definitely very competitive, definitely going to be very close, don't you reckon, Chris?
Oh, absolutely, mate. You can just see the margins there just by itself within quali, so everyone is very, very close to each other in overall one-lap speed, but when it comes to the race, throw in some tyre degradation, and it's going to bring up some people up and down the order, so one-lap pace won't mean too much when it comes to race.
No, 100%. And looking at our starting tyres as well, I've got that data in front of me. Most of the rear runners, so 9th downwards, are running the mediums. And then a bit of a mix, soft to medium in the front, both Jay Walbutton and Jay Green on the mediums. And then everyone else, including our two front guys, Justin L and Slippy, on the soft. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with the medium and soft, what the pace difference is. But hopefully, hopefully there's some close racing, as I'm sure there will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the tyre degradation is definitely different between the soft and medium compound tyre. However, throw in a bit of fuel burn and the pace can really drop down regardless of what tyre you're on. So we've got the overcut or the undercut strategy depending on what tyre you're starting on. So not surprising that the back markers here starting on the medium tyre, they'll be looking to pit early and get aim clear on soft tyre to maximise the speed they can extract from that.
Yeah, 100%. And without further ado then, let's get into the race. Alright, here we go then, as they come down, sort of single file, slightly spread out, rolling start here. Justin L on the pole, away in that 44 Porsche. The long run, almost 500 metres down to turn 1. And they're all fairly single file at this stage.
Yeah, look, for action down here at turn 1, the toe is pretty big, especially over the back marker here, so everyone hopefully gets through nice and clean here. Justin with a lot of clear air, but some moves can be made down the back with the toe. The toe is very strong along the back straight here, but pretty tidy so far considering the mix-up of tyre compound here. So Josh Green already getting a run there on Pup in the beautiful BMW M6.
Well, he actually
running a default livery there, Josh Green is, but however, seems pretty good so far. And shout out to Pup there with the throwback FBR livery as well. Very tidy, and unfortunately you don't see the Ford Mustang hanging out too much in Group 3 racing. So good to see the Pups rolling out the beast.
Yeah, no, 100%. Glad to see it running around. He actually gained a position off the start there off Green. Green started in 5th, so there was a bit of change of position there at the start. As we see, I believe that's BBL Flash right behind Sin Killer as we come down to the hairpin at turn 9. Nothing doing there. And that looks like Apex just marking or guarding the inside of the corner from, you got to be joking, behind him. Fairly clean start to the race.
The concertina effect is really, really strong here. The toe is so strong, and even if you get caught up having to brake early behind the competitors around here, you can really get yourself vulnerable in the toe. So pretty clean so far, but very tight already here in the mid-pack. So everyone's probably just trying to warm up their tyres. And Josh Green, massive tank slapper on the exit there of the last turn. So he'll be vulnerable in the toe here, and this kink will make it a bit awkward as well. So the top 5 get through pretty cleanly at the moment, but Green already under pressure here at the moment.
Under pressure from Apex coming down towards turn 1, 100%, especially coming out of that hairpin. It's so easy to get the car loose, and Apex going to have a look up the inside now. Can he get the move done? He's also going to have a look up the inside of, is that BBL Flash? I think there was contact there. BBL Flash ending up out in the dirt, and now under threat from You Gotta Be Joking behind him. And I believe that's... Who's that behind him in what looks like the Dodge, I think. Another car you don't see a lot of in Group 3 racing anymore, the Viper Dodge. Dodge Viper, I should say.
Yeah, awesome for Street Silent to pull out that beast for this one. But yeah, pretty messy already. We got a lot of tyre difference here at the moment, but the pack is so tight. We already saw that in qualifying, so it'll be survival of the fittest at the moment. And these medium tyre runners, especially towards the back, you'll be very keen to extract as much as they can out of the tyre and hopefully get some good track position as they transit on the soft tyre at the moment. But Justin already running off to the races here in P1, fastest lap on the opening lap. I'm sure it would be pretty hard to beat in that Porsche, Isaac.
Yeah, 100%. He's definitely got the pace. He's been quick for all of these, all 3 pre-season rounds. Obviously, the first week he competed in Lobby B. He was the host that week and didn't set a time in qualifying and just sort of came out and tore through the field and finished second. And then he was in Lobby A last week, finished at the top, and then Lobby A again this week, and he's just pulling away already. But it looks pretty close between Slippy and Pup as we come through turn 15, running down the back straight, or front straight I should say now. It's all fairly close between these top 4 cars actually. Justin's pulled a bit of a gap.
All the while these guys are battling out at the moment. Justin will benefit heavily here from Slippy and Pup. Slippy looks for the move on the inside, the GTR superior under brakes. We'll have to see if Pup can go for a switchback, but hangs it out on the outside as he transits turn 2 and 3. Unfortunately, couldn't keep the position, so Slippy takes P2 for now, so he'll hopefully try to break away from this pack here with Pup and K-Dot in close proximity. Pup has a look down the inside. That was really aggressive, but Slippy able to cover the inside line as he transits through turn 5 there. So, wow, very tight here at the moment between 2, 3, 4.
That is a car in the wall. We'll find out who that is for you.
Oh.
I believe it is BBL Sin Killer in the wall at, what is that, the exit of turn 5. I just noticed he got a little bit loose on the exit there in that, I believe it's the Toyota Supra, and just sort of ended up facing the wrong way, all on his own by the looks of it. We'll grab a replay of that to see if there was any contact with anyone else there. Just grabbing a replay here of what happened to BBL Sin Killer. So he's come through the turn 4-5 complex with that battle pack in front of him, and he just got a little bit loose on the exit of the corner, and it's just spat him into the barriers when he's tried to correct it. It's not how he wants to start this race, certainly not what he wanted this early on. I'm disappointed for him, but hopefully we'll see him fight back. Back to the live action with Chris and Isaac.
Yeah, really unfortunate there for Sincar. I'm pretty sure he started on the soft tyre as well, so unfortunately unable to maximise his soft tyre stint, so he'll be looking to push as hard as he can to try and make the most of that soft tyre compound, and hopefully, just hopefully, he'll be able to climb up the order. But that's pretty unfortunate there for Sincar, but plenty of time to try and make amends for the incident. However, still this 2nd to 5th battling out very hard at the moment, and Warburton, the big tank slapper as well, so 2 cars are falling victim to that corner exit there at turn 14 at the moment, so he's got a bit of clear air still at the moment, but it's so important to get turn 14 exit right, Isaac, otherwise they're very vulnerable on the toe, and the toe is dangerous in general, but also you'll be able to use it to save some fuel as Slippy and Pup are going for it again. Pup moves over, plays defensive, but he might have braked a bit late, and he
just
does.
In the dirt. Oh, and he's got in the dirt there. That was a change of position as well, so that'll be very frustrating for Pup because he was working hard the whole previous lap to get that 2nd place from Slippy, and he's just gone a bit too deep into turn 1 and overcooked it, and now he's under threat from Jay Green behind him in the BMW.
Yeah, just goes to show getting that brake marker right. Approaching turn 1 is so important, especially with not only, the change of wind direction, as I've just noticed, it's equal conditions in this lobby. However, when you're in the tow, and especially with tyre degradation, it can really be easy to miss that marker, and the Ford Mustang, as it collected the gravel, was unable to get out of there quick enough. So we'll have to see if Pup can recollect himself, but we know he's got the ultimate pace at the moment. And meanwhile, as we're watching Pup, we've got Jokin and Green and Flash all involved there in 6, 7, 8. So early phases here at the moment, Isaac, but hard and close racing at the moment. This is really good to see. It just shows the overall competitiveness and how tight and close it is in Lobby A.
Yeah, 100%. And this is great from Jokin as well because he's up to 6th, starting on the medium tyre. So he's actually on the slower tyre at the start here, which will be great for him as the race develops because he'll pit for those softs and he'll be faster than some of those guys that he's ahead of because some of them would have started on the soft tyre. So great performance from him so far.
Yeah, so the medium tyre runners will be getting towards the end of their stint, depending on what fuel they have on board, where the soft guys will be kind of coming into the best phase of their tyres right now. So we're going to see a lot of pace at the most. Pup pulls out in the slipstream, tries to take the outside line. Hopefully he can pull the car up this time and makes the outside move work. So that is very, very good. Maybe
that's what he was
a bit of a traction advantage there with the tyre, but yeah, great stuff there by Pup. So he'll be looking to climb back up the order and catch Slippery and K-Dot, who are flying at the moment. Meanwhile, Justin just cruising in P1. So yet again, a masterclass already by Justin.
100%. Yeah, no. I think Pup was just, that's what the movie would wanted to pull off the first time in the previous lap. But Warburton obviously on those medium tyres, so a bit of a pace difference there between him and Pup. So Pup will hope to pull away now and try and get back up to the back of K-Dot and sort of just make inroads on those, probably not the front three, because Justin's got a bit of a gap, as you can see there on the mini-map in the top right corner, but make an impression on the two in front of him and fight for those podium places.
Yeah, so it looks like things have calmed down a little bit at the moment. And as I say, we still have a freight train, so we have a lot of battle packers hanging around here at the moment. So down to 6th down to almost 10th, I would say, maybe even a bit further down. It's super competitive at the moment. So a lot of hard battles here. So hopefully everyone can keep it clean, because not only do we have to manage our tyres, we also have to manage fuel. Some of the cars will be better off. There's some others with the fuel burn. So we know a lower fuel tank, you can make a lot of pace, and especially on low fuel, those medium tyres will go nearly almost as quick as the soft tyres. Now Pup gets yet another run down here on the pitch straight, coming through the kink there at turn 15. So this just goes to show how powerful the toe is. And a great opportunity here for Pup to get involved, and Joker might have a sniff here as well.
Well, that was a change of position again.
On the marks. Pup goes for another outside move again.
And he tries to get it done.
Hang it on the outside and makes it stick again. A Warbunt hangs here on the middle as it navigates the kinks here at turn 2 and 3. And wow, great defending there by Warbunt. He wasn't going to let Pup go around the outside twice there, Isaac.
But we'll find out what happened there, because Pup was ahead of Warbunt, so that was a change of position again. So there must have been, looks like Pup might have got a little bit loose on the exit of turn 14. And that meant that Warbunt got back ahead of him. But here we go, Pup up the inside now into the long right-hander that is turn 6, or left-hander actually, sorry, I'm looking at it from the wrong direction. But they're going to be side-by-side down this straight into the hairpin at turn 9. Joking in there as well. This is going to be a very close battle as we come into the hairpin. Who's going to break first? Who's going to yield? Neither of them want to. And Warburton hangs around the outside. This is great racing. Great to watch. Pup and Warburton side by side coming down to the infamous turn 13. And you can only go single file through here. I liken this section to that of the Monaco Grand Prix. You've got to try and get as close to the barriers as you can without touching it. It has that street circuit feel, Chris.
Oh, absolutely. It's probably one of the funnest sections on the game, especially for the generic tracks like Gran Turismo make the ability to be able to shift the weight of the car and move it across through the left-hand side without hitting the rail is quite a fun part. But Warburton again in the toe, so it just goes to show if you can hang in there for at least most of the lap, by the time you reach getting onto the pitch straight here, you can really, and look at the amount of cars that have caught up to this pack. So meanwhile, Pup is battling quite hard with Warburton. Warburton is on the medium tyre, so now
loose from Pup
we commence lap 7. Pup gets pretty loose on the rears there, so that's the Mustang for you. A lot of power through the rear tyres, so it's quite easy to spin them up. So this invites 3 abreast going into turn 4 and 5 here. Wow, this just seems to be the reputation of Lobby A at the moment, Isaac. We have such close racing here, and little errors like Pup just made there on corner exit there going through turn 3 can cost you a lot of positions, so the competitiveness is through the roof.
Yeah, 100%, and especially being on those soft tyres at the start here, Pup really will be kicking himself, because he want to make good inroads early on that soft tyre, but it just hasn't been going his way. That Mustang is, I would say, very tail happy, very loose end, that Mustang. Same with the Corvette, which is what he's usually been driving in the previous weeks as well. So obviously not having the desired effect that he want that Mustang over the Corvette this week, but still, obviously the pace is there. He's just got to keep it clean.
As we're getting to the end of lap 7 now, some of those medium tyre runners, including Warburton, I'm pretty sure you mentioned, is on the medium tyres. So he'll be very happy that he's been fighting these guys on the soft tyre, and it'll heavily benefit him towards the end of the race. So we'll have to see if anyone throughout the pack is going to transit pit lane on the medium tyre and go for the undercut.
So it looks like
these
one's
guys
in.
So it looks like Jochen.
Jochen and
Jochen
Green
the
are
first in.
So both on the medium tyres.
Jochen and Green on the medium tyres, yes. So fair bit of fuel burn there. So we'll have to see if they can fully top up and go from there. But yeah, already we're going to see this undercut play a massive factor, because if Jochen and Josh Green can get out and clear on the soft tyre, they're going to make massive inroads on the leaders.
100%, yeah. It's definitely very powerful, the undercut, especially going from mediums to softs. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of inroads these two can make. Fuel goes in, fuel all the way up for Jochen, that GTR, very fuel hungry. So out in 9th and 10th, Samwith gonna come past them. It looks like Apex may go up the inside here as well in BMW M6, but very deceiving. Looks like a BMW M4. It's a very beautiful livery, that car, but they're gonna come out in 10th and 12th. So a couple cars around them haven't pitted yet, so they're going to have to try and move these guys out of the way quickly, get past, and that will be how they'll make inroads on these soft tyres. So they'll want to get these overtakes done quickly and not spend too much time in traffic burning through those tyres.
Yeah, it looks like maybe some people have already pitted early to put the soft tyre on. We have to be mindful of those guys' fuel loads, but Sandwith, who was towards the back of the field in qualifying, has made a massive jump here. However, Jochen seems to be flying at the moment. He made a lot of ground there on the medium tyre. Now on the softs, we'll have to watch out for his pace at the moment. So these guys won't want to fight too much, but they know the gains they can make on the leaders. And meanwhile, while Walbottom was battling a lot of these guys, Flippy and K-Dot are going to benefit from this massively. And meanwhile, Justin, he's just racing against himself at the moment. So we'll have to see how this pans out towards the end of the race. But Justin just continuing an amazing consistency there in 1 minute 40. So he just looks like a man on fire right now. We haven't seen anyone really take it to Justin at the moment. We know these are pre-season races, Isaac, so everyone's getting used to the cars, the field, the strategy, and just the nature of what AGT is offering on the Tuesday night GT3 racing. But it seems like Justin already has this all figured out.
Yeah, 100%. He's definitely got the pace in that Porsche and is using it to his advantage. As with K-Dot and Slippy, both cars up the pointy end every week so far. So it'll be interesting to see once the real season gets underway at Daytona next week what that pace looks like for Justin. He did mention earlier in the week that Sardegna is a very strong track for him, and coming into Daytona the first round is not necessarily his strongest track, so it'll be interesting to see if that pace does translate to Daytona, but definitely one of his stronger tracks this week at Sardegna.
Yeah, absolutely, and I do have to note as well, K-Dot and Slippy running a very sensible race at the moment. These two have been hip and shoulder this whole time so far, but both aren't really willing to go wheel to wheel right now. I think there's been some lessons learned in the previous weeks when you are battling someone else on track, especially early phases of the race where you're trying to run a tyre and fuel strategy, how much time you can lose. So I'm sure K-Dot and Slippy will, despite hitting some consistency at the moment, they'll be managing their fuel and hopefully they don't have to put too much on to finish out the race. And then despite the low fuel, those mediums will be flying towards the end. So Pup looks like he's cleared Warburton at the moment, so that's really, really important for him on the soft tyre. But with Warburton on the medium, I'll be watching for him coming towards the front of the pack towards in the races. As we have Sinclair transit pit lane at the moment, unfortunately for him, we did see an incident earlier in the race, so he'll be jumping onto the medium tyre at the moment. So hopefully he hasn't lost too much ground and he might be able to climb back up. But got a shout out to the BVL guys, those liveries for himself, Flash and Slippy. Fantastic work from those guys getting those paint schemes done, and looks like the Supra is a pretty popular option here at the moment, Isaac, and not just the Supra, as we did mention before. Really nice spread of cars throughout the field. It's really good to see when, typically you can see so many people jump in the same 2 or 3 cars, so we're all really pleased to see all the different cars out there.
Yeah, 100%. It's great to see different cars as we look at, I believe that is Walbutton and BBL Flash going side by side into the hairpin, but nothing doing so far. But yeah, as you said, it's great to see a nice spread of cars, both old and new, it's really good for the category, I think, and for the series, that it's not just sort of turning into a one-make race, which is great. And obviously, it's, you know, makes for great racing as well. Makes it everyone's sort of different strengths at different tracks. As we see Justin L now in the pit lane, Slippy in the pit lane as well. I was about to mention that it looks like we will have all cars come in within the next 2 laps, because you're only probably going to get about 9 or 10 laps out of a tank of fuel. So our leaders are in fact in the pit lane now.
Fantastic job there by Warburton. He's ran the medium tyre for quite a long time now in the opening stint, and no fuel left to spare, as well as Justin and Slippy have managed a lot of their fuel. And Justin, only 69 litres on board, so he's done a really, really good job there managing the fuel. And despite, being on the medium tyre, he'll be flying towards the end of the race. So effective leader Justin comes out importantly in clear air, Isaac. So he'll be hard to beat now. We'll have to see where the early stoppers that come off the medium tyre onto the soft will have to pop up now. So Warburton comes out onto the soft tyre. We'll have to see where he merges in with everyone else.
Look at this!
Freight train. An absolute army of cars here. Warburton does not want a bar of that. He's happy to slip in behind while these guys are racing.
I want to stay out of that as well. Look at this.
Warburton probably just rolled out of that and didn't want a bar of it. But wow, all these guys going neck and neck. This just seems to be Lobby A in a nutshell here.
Yes, this is where the battle's at down the order. It certainly makes for great television, great to watch. Obviously, you know, probably not great for these guys if there's an incident, but it is quite enjoyable for all of us at home to sit and watch. So I think Warburton will probably just sit on the back of these guys. He knows he's on the better tyre, even with the guys that were on softs. They're on softs now. They stopped earlier, so he's got the fresher tyre advantage. So he'll probably just sit behind, suss out what's going on with these guys, what sort of pace they're setting, what sort of moves they're looking to make, and then probably pick them off one by one. As he's already looking at the back, you've got to be joking here. As we have our leaders now, so the rest of our leaders are in. K-Dot, Pup, and BBL Flash are in. So the question is going to be, K-Dot was ahead of Slippy before this stop. Will that still be the case coming where is Slippy actually? We'll just check. He's coming down the front straight now. So this is going to be close. There's K-Dot. Here comes Slippy. Right here. I don't think he's going to get him. I think he's just got out in enough time, K-Dot. So the undercut didn't quite work the way that Slippy wanted it to. Obviously on the mediums compared to the softs. So maybe there was still a little bit of pace difference there. But undercut didn't pay dividends for Slippy in the end.
Yeah, huge pull there by K-Dot. Not only comes out, but comes out with a healthy gap between him and Slippy. So it might take a lap or two to get those tyres into phase, but was able to save enough fuel just to give himself a little bit of a gap. So we know that Supra can be a bit thirsty at times, but he's managed to make it work, and he's come out in front of Slippy, so that's huge for K-Dot, and on the medium tyre as well. So we'll have to see if he can hold him off. But Pup, who was fighting early on and a fair bit as well, is up into 4th place at the moment. Quietly, Isaac, we have Sandwich in 5th position in that beautiful Castrol Honda NXX, and quietly just going about his business on the soft tyre at the moment. So pitted early, avoiding this massive battle pack, including Flash, Green, Jochen, and a bunch of others. So Sandwich benefiting from staying away from that pack. So we'll have to see what more he can show, but already a massive gain here for Sandwich, not only just undercutting, but staying out of the fight packs.
Yeah, 100%. We'll have to see what sort of fuel saving he might have to do to make it to the end here. Obviously, with that early pit stop, as we said earlier, you only get about 10, 11 laps of fuel out of this car. So we'll see if he has to do any sort of fuel saving or anything to make it to the end of this one. But a great performance so far, staying out of trouble, keeping his nose clean, and getting himself up into 5th, which is great to see. We'll like to point out we have had a DNF, a mechanical failure for Smashing Apex, which is obviously disappointing for him. Was on for a strong result. Was in that gaggle of cars. He was in that battle pack with these guys right here. So mechanical DNF, very disappointing for him. It would have been a good result if he could get to the front of that pack. Obviously P6 back to, what is that, P11 it looks like. So definitely a bit of a what could have been for him. But still hopefully we'll see him back next week and competing. He's a quick racer. He had a lot of pace last week at Suzuka as well. So a lot of pace in that BMW. As Jay Green is also displaying here up in 6th, the BMW does have pace.
Yeah, this shoulder to hip racing at the moment, I just can't get over this, and it's just going to show. Look at Sandwith compared to Green, Flash, Jochen, and even Wrestler, and as you go down the pack, even Warburton as well, which is unfortunately been heavily affected by this pack. So Warburton might have had the pace over someone like Sandwith, but when you're caught up in so much traffic, especially a track that's so dependent on the toe and the ability to be able to look after your tyres and extract the pace from them, he's lost massive ground. So might be the style of the racing that we're going to see on Tuesdays is if you get out in clear air, if you hit your strategy and make sure you're not fighting anyone too much, you're going to make seconds on end, and Sandwith is showing that. And most Wrestler, a massive dive on the inside and pulls that Corvette up, something chronic. Wow, that was quite aggressive there. I think Warburton left the door open there a little bit, but he's going to pull away now. But Warburton will be looking to pull in the draft, might give him a bit of a bump here or two to make sure he doesn't get too close too early.
Pushing up the straight.
But right under that rear bumper of the Corvette, because Wrestler hold the inside, or Warburton try to get his nose. We'll have to see what happens here.
He's going to look around the outside.
Turn 1.
And can he make it stick? No, he gets on the dirt and just too wide there. I think he's probably getting a bit frustrated, Warburton. He's been held up by Wrestler ever since he come out of the pits. This group in front of him, he just hasn't seemed to be able to get past anyone. He's been stuck behind Wrestler in that Corvette. So obviously the straight line speed of that Corvette is good enough to keep Warburton behind. But it is good to watch this battle, even though it's probably not great for these guys who, Warburton was up the top end, started, I believe it was, he started 3rd actually, so probably frustrating for him, starting 3rd and being down in 10th with the result of the pit stops and getting stuck behind some of these guys. But that's the nature of this circuit and the nature of the racing here. It's so competitive that you can go from somewhere like 3rd to 10th in the blink of an eye. All it costs is a couple of tenths.
Oh yeah, the margin for gains is small, the margin for error is massive, and Warburton will be getting a bit frustrated. He'll be feeling a bit ripped off here. So seems this track position is equally as important as trying to work that around your strategy, and Sandwith is putting that to good use. And if Sandwith can get in the toe here of Pup, it will be a really big opportunity to jump him, especially with the tyre difference at the moment. Yeah. So we're going to have to see what happens with the battle packs here at the moment, because Justin, K-Dot and Slippy are putting on an absolute clinic at the moment. Those guys are driving away with it and proving again why the clear is so important. As you have Jochen pulling an outside move on his fellow driving here, so he's going to hold it around the outside. Not entirely sure what tyres these guys on, but geez, we've seen a lot of moves into turn 1, and Flash is able to hold that off. But Sardegna, despite being such a toe-dependent track and a lot of straights, it's a great track for overtaking and a lot of overtaking opportunities. It's 100%. Definitely demonstrating the close racing of Lobby A. So we're getting a bit spoilt here at the moment. So hopefully we see this track on the calendar in future versions of the AGT series. But yeah, damn, I am forgetting that there's leaders in this race at the moment, Isaac, because there's so much happening in the mid-pack. I'm forgetting that Justin's skipping away from it.
No, 100%. It is so good to watch, and I can confirm that BBL Flash is in fact on the mediums, whereas Jochen is on those softs. So there is a little bit of a pace difference there in terms of the tyre compound that these guys are using. As Warburton, who has now got past Wrestler, is on the back of Jochen as well. So he wants a piece of this battle, this little battle pack we've got going on here. And that is a car round. That is Jay Green round at the exit of, what is that? That is turn 9 hairpin. So frustrating for him. He was 6th before that went down. So he was in clear air in 6th, and it just goes to show one small error around here. Even when you're running on your own, all it takes is one small error and you're down the order.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate there for Josh Green, who's a very well-known community member with CP Motorsports Racing and multiple other leagues around the country. Very easy to do there on corner exits, especially with the torque curve that the Beamer has. It's very easy to spin those rear tyres, but the pressure of the racing is through the roof as well. So you might have pace, but if you're fighting someone, you're going to have some race practice.
3 wide into turn 1.
3 abreast going into turn 1. That will not work.
No.
But they try and make it. And Warburton
He's going to
get a 2-for-1 deal.
He's going to come out of this ahead by the looks of it. He's managed to, I think he's going to try and sweep around the outside of BBL Flash here, and he has. So 2-for-1 deal, 3 wide. He went around the outside. He loves that outside move at turn 1, wall button, and this time I think the move up the inside of Joken made BBL Flash slow up a little bit, and it's just worked to the advantage of wall button. So he's back up into 6th, which is great for him. And obviously you've got to be Joken and BBL Flash now down the spot. But wall button, he's just happy with that. He's got to be happy with that.
Oh, absolutely. He'll be happy to try. We see yellow's flags up here.
Oh,
up
it's Slippy!
Turn on hairpin, and Slippy!
Slippy's around. That is devastating for him. He was in 3rd. We'll have to get a replay of what happened there. Looks like it was a similar incident to that of Green on the lap previous, on lap 15, but obviously not great for him. I'm trying to just work out what actually might have happened there. I think he's probably just got loose on the exit of the hairpin. It's a very weird section of track, like the road sort of falls away with the camber of the track, so I think he's just tried to light up the rears, and he's just gone around, especially this late in the race with tyre wear. And it's creating a bit of a battle as we come down the front straight. And that's another position
we'll
for Wall
have to see what happened there. Yeah, Warbutton will be happy with that. A try to recover some of the lost ground here, lost with the strategy, but that promotes Pup into 3rd position, and Sam with an incredible climb up the ord here and gets into 4th position with the undercut strategy. So Sam with clear air, getting off those mediums early and sending it on the softs.
Wrestler up to absolutely 7th. So grabbing a replay now of what happened to Slippy now. He comes down into this turn 9 hairpin with quite a lot of speed. K-Dot run behind him, you can see him in the mirror, breaks at that 100-metre board, turns it in quite nicely, gets up to 2nd gear on exit, then just gets loose, and I think there's just a bit of contact from K-Dot there to help him round, but I don't think there's anywhere we can go. As we go on board with K-Dot into this turn 9, as you see Slippy get loose there, and yeah, there's just nowhere for K-Dot to go. There's nothing he could do, really. He was sort of just trapped, and it's just an unfortunate incident there, as Slippy narrowly avoided by Pup, and luckily he ghosted and Pup didn't make contact, otherwise that would have been another spin. But disappointing for Slippy. He was having such a great race at that point, and just unfortunately nowhere for K-Dot to go in that one.
As we getting towards it, we're catching this up on the final lap already. I say we could do this all day at the moment, because that middle pack is going wild at the moment. But Justin with an incredible healthy lead here, almost leading by a full sector on the track, navigates turn 14 here and transits up to pitch straight here. But Justin Ladaway will win this one as Joken, and it's all happening in the mid pack here. But as we watch our late race leader come to the checkered flag here, Justin Ladaway will win the last of the pre-season races, and absolute clinic, and incredible speed on that medium tyre as well. As another fellow administrator, good friend of the league, K-Dot in the Toyota Supra, will come across the line in 2nd place. Unfortunately, Slippy wasn't able to be there to run with him and contesting him. Pup, after racing incredibly hard throughout that one, takes the final spot on the podium.
Sandwith gets 4th. So a brilliant drive for him. He started, I'll just look at my notes here, he started 11th, so he's gone 11th to 4th in that one. So a brilliant drive for him. Wrestler comes home 8th. Street Stylant actually got 7th, so we're gonna have to find out what happened there, because Street Stylant was 10th coming into that final lap. So there must have been a bit of biff and barge, because you got to be Joken's also ended up 10th. So we'll try and grab a replay. We were so distracted watching the race leader come across the line, Justin L, sail across the line so far out in front that we missed all that biff and barge towards the end. We probably missed the best of it. And coming around in 13th, a fairly quiet race for him today, Aksaga. So he's going to come home in 13th in that Supra. Not much happening for him today. He's just sort of, I think he fell away. He had an incident at the start and he just fell away, and that was it for him. And a replay of what happened down into the hairpin at turn 9 on the last lap with these guys. It's been going on all race. We were waiting for something to happen. It was bound to happen eventually, and here it did. Wrestler clips the inside wall. Does side-to-side contact, we've got to be Joken, and spits him into that outside wall. which just means that You Gotta Be Joking gets turned and Street Styling will go past Wrestler. So just unfortunate for You Gotta Be Joking. He's going to flick the car around, do a nice flick spin to get it facing back the other way. And just disappointing for him. Side-to-side contact, spat into the wall. And once you get into the walls in this circuit and on this game, it's just, they just take over. You lose control of the car and you're just a passenger at that point. So disappointing for him. He's going to try and bring it home for a wonderful top 10 finish though. It'd be great for him just to bring it home in 10th. He runs wide at the exit of turn 13, hairpin there, but a brilliant result. We're now going to take you to the results with Isaac and Chris.
What a race, Isaac. I mean, we'll have to see what happened towards the end there. Jochen was getting a little bit loose with a few other guys there on those last few corners of that last lap. But wow, just goes to show the competitiveness of this track and the cars at the moment. So that was mega racing for preseason. If that's what we're getting for preseason, imagine what the legitimate season is going to be like as we approach round 1 at Daytona Road Course, and that's heavily towed track, a lot more than this one.
Oh, 100%. It's, especially around those banked corners, there's so much opportunity to get into the slipstream and get into the tow. So probably I would predict we're going to see plenty of moves going down into the bus stop and also into turn 1. But we're going to run you through the results of that one now. So obviously Justin L coming home, sailing through for what looked like a relatively easy victory there. First place, 15 seconds over K-Dot in second. Pup coming home third. A strong result for him. Obviously, bit loose in that, the Mustang. A bit loose in that Mustang to start with, but he found his groove, especially on those medium tyres. He got into the groove, and he brought it home in third place, so a strong result for him. Samwith, that is one of the best drives I have seen. Obviously, we didn't give it too much attention because we were so busy focusing on that mid-pack, but he sort of stayed out of that battle, sort of hung behind at the start, pitted early, took advantage of those softs and got himself in front of it and just sort of whisked away. Jay Walbutton, a great comeback for him there at the end, fastest lap of the race and in 5th. That'll be good for him. Obviously, getting stuck behind Wrestler for a while there, down in that top 10 in that battle. But once he cleared that battle, he sailed away. Slippy, disappointing for him. Should have been a podium, but that mistake there at turn 9 just meant that he finishes in 6th. Street Styling in 7th, the leader, or the lead car of that battle pack. So, obviously, a great run for him. Sort of sat behind, obviously knew something was going to go down at some point between those guys, and just waited for it to happen. Brought it home in 7th. Brilliant job for him. Wrestler in 8th in that Corvette. BBL Flash in 9th. You got to be joking in 10th. Probably wanted more out of that, but as we said, close racing and just unfortunate that he was the victim of that incident towards the end there. BBL Singular in 11th. Early spin for him meant that it was just sort of a recovery drive from there for him, so he'll hope to clean that up and go again next week at Daytona. Jay Green in 12th. Another victim of that turn 9 hairpin, just got loose on the exit on the exit of that corner and just, wasn't much he could do there. Brings it home in 12th. Axaga in 13th, and Smashing Apex, unfortunately, with that mechanical DNF, will miss out today, but hopefully we'll see everyone back next week. It's been some great racing today, Chris, so I'm very excited to see it all kick off at Daytona next week. What about you?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Isaac. 3 preseason races down already. We've seen a lot of the competitiveness of all the drivers, and we've seen drivers fall up, fall down, so we know how close it's going to be. So it makes everyone really excited for round 1. The AGT League has grown so massively in such a short amount of time with numbers, and already a hugely competitive field. So we'll have to hold on and see what happens at Daytona, because I'm sure that's going to provide a lot of entertainment. And Justin just seems to kind of be racing by himself right now. So hopefully Justin has a bit more competition come round 1, but he looks untouchable at the moment in these preseason races.
I feel like we should have a lobby A+ just for Justin. He's that quick at the moment. He's just got the pace over everybody else, and it's just it's great though, and I'm very excited to see. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, Justin did say earlier in the week that Daytona isn't one of his strongest tracks, so maybe we'll see him caught up in a few battles next week. But I'm really excited to see what Daytona has to offer. Thank you so much all for tuning in. Chris, thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure to have you, and it was a pleasure to have all of you tuning in. We can't wait for Daytona next week. It's going to be a great one. Chris, any final thoughts?
That's pretty much for me, mate. Thank you for having me join you here in the commentary booth, and hopefully I wasn't too big for size, and hopefully I can join you again soon, mate.
No.
And special shout out to you as well, Isaac. I'm killing it with the commentary and the presentation of all the videos you've been posting so far. I know all the drivers on the grid and the wider AGT community have appreciated all your work so far, so you're already kicking it, mate. And yeah, hopefully we can keep this roll and then push the league to the moon.
No, 100%. I appreciate it. It's nice to have someone else sit in the commentary box with me. It gets a little bit lonely here by myself sometimes. So it's nice to have someone else to talk to and bounce off, and it was great to have you. And as I said, thanks so much everyone for tuning in. We're very excited for Daytona next week to kick it all off for round 1 of the Adrenaline GT GT3 Championship. We'll see you all then. Thanks very much and goodbye.